Innovation and change hurting Toei Tokusatsu. How's it going, everybody? Static Thunder here, and I've been sitting here watching some Ultraman Tio. I've been all caught up now. Very good show. I'll make a separate video on what am I watching very soon on that. However, it made me kind of realize that I wonder if Toei's Tokusatsu, aka Kamen Rider and Project Red / Super Sentai former, if they have been severely impacted by the fact that they are innovating too much and too fast. And the reason that in watching Ultraman it reminded me of that is simply because of the fact that I'm watching through and I'm realizing there's a lot of different things with this Ultraman series, and with every Ultraman series that I've watched so far, that it's pretty formulaic in the
I can't believe this is a genuine discussion that we've actually got to have now. Hello everyone and welcome back. Unfortunately, the cancellation of Super Sentai seems to have been sending a couple of people into a frenzy of delusion, that is. Because, as we all know, the best way for Sentai to come back in this current climate is to bitch about every decision Toei has made over the last decade and hope that they listen to our calls and bring back Sentai from the dead. Because, as we all know, them trying to change the formula that had been established for 45 years was definitely the thing that killed Sentai, and definitely not the gigantic financial turmoil they went through. If only we could use another infamously financially troubled tokusatsu show that's been on the air for multiple decades to improve my point. Oh, wait a damn minute. Ultraman fits that bill perfectly. Taking a look at Ultraman, some of its most innovative series, Ginga, X, Orb, Z, are all some of the highest earning they've ever had. And I know what you might be thinking, well, surely innovation doesn't equate to toy sales, and that's a really good point. Of course, innovation doesn't equate to toy sales. So how can you sit there and make the argument that innovation killed Sentai if those two things have no direct correlation? To get me started on the obvious misconception that's presented in this video that Sentai only began innovating with Zenkaija, because literally 2 years before that show aired, Sentai decided to make a Versus series in Lupin Ranger vs. Pat Ranger, and the year before that decided that they were going to have a massive, nearly 15-man team with Uchu Sentai Q Ranger. This video also presents Ultraman being formulaic as a good thing, but I think what he's trying to say is that Ultraman makes certain design choices that are recognizable between every series, like the Ultraman Rise. Except that point doesn't really work because Sentai also had that, the giant robots and the, colourful spandex. He also goes on to mention Kamen Rider Z and its innovation with the belts, which is absolutely hilarious because this is not the first time Kamen Rider has innovated. Pretty much every single season in the first Heisei era from 2000 to 2009 attempted to do something different, and it kicked Kamen Rider in the ass financially. So you could technically consider Kamen Rider Phase 2 to be an innovation on the failure of the innovation in Phase 1. Phase 2 earned nearly triple than what Phase 1 did. Like, we were talking double digits here. Point is, if innovation really was killing Toei Tokusatsu off, then Kamen Rider would have probably been cancelled at Decade. Hell, Sentai probably would have been cancelled at Jaka for life, as that tried to tell a more serious, in-depth story. But I'm not going to sit here and rag on this dude for attempting to convey this point, because his point does actually have some merit to it. Sometimes when Toei Tokusatsu shows try to innovate, it does go horrifically wrong. And trust me, as someone whose favourite season of Kamen Rider is Hibiki, I know the pain of innovation going wrong. However, despite this, the series that came under the Reiwa era more recently were incredibly financially successful. Gojuja, Boom Boomja, Don Brothers, and King Oja saw some of the highest, if not the highest Sentai toy sales in over a decade. In fact, Gojuja's mechs sold out on the first week before Christmas had even started. Apparently, according to Shirakura, that's something that hasn't happened since Shinkenger. So I don't really think the whole innovation is killing Toei Tokusatsu thing has any real merit to it. Yeah, sure, there's some situational things that you could point out, like how Toei tried to make Sentai a little more gritty with Live Man and bombed their viewership in the 80s. Although, if you ask me, the dinosaur impregnation scene had more to do with a drop-off in viewership than the strong anti-war messaging and oddly Christian narrative of Live Man did. Overall, is innovation hurting Toei Tokusatsu? No. Toei's fine. Toei literally makes One Piece and Dragon Ball. Even if Sentai and Rider bombed financially every year, they have enough money for the next 4 decades to not go bankrupt.